Thank you, Jillian. I would now like to present you your class of 2023 valedictorian, Mason Shute.
Speech! Good evening, family, friends, faculty, and the GCIT class of 2023. It's an honor to be in front of you today to commemorate this occasion. Before writing this speech, I was told this was my platform to share my experiences, provide insight, and share words of wisdom for my classmates. Of course, I struggled to come up with something to speak on because, after all, I'm a student, same as the rest of you. Who am I to give advice to such a big group? But one day, I was driving home and I started to wonder, how has high school gone by so fast? What about those assignments that seem to be endless and are now suddenly over? How have these 4 years at GCIT impacted me? During my reflection, I found 2 pieces of advice that I've learned from my time at GCIT, and I believe both will help cultivate success in anyone. The first piece of advice, it's something that everybody already knows, but not everyone acts on. It's that there is no substitute for hard work. Hard work trumps all. In the classroom, in athletics, in any area of your life where you may want to succeed. You don't have to be the most intellectually gifted, or the most athletic, or naturally talented at anything. What you must have is a mindset founded on effort. A mindset founded on effort will always be working, and therefore always improving, and will naturally develop a hardened spirit that willingly faces struggles. In your future endeavors, graduates, whether it be college or employment, know that there is one way you can always face your challenges, a way that has been preached and utilized by generations before, a way that always yields progress. The only way is hard work. The price of success is high, but it's one I'm willing to pay. I guess the question is, are you? The second piece of advice, it consists of 2 dueling ideas about motivation. I like to call it passion versus purpose. We all know that it's easier to put in the hard work and effort that a goal requires when you have a passion for it. You don't mind the workload because you love what you're doing. But there will be times during the process where passion disappears, and it's just you against the struggle. That is when the sense of purpose really must take over. For example, I have a strong passion for medical science, so studying for a class like anatomy and physiology was hardly ever a chore for me. I do not, however, have a passion for mathematics, so in my many math classes, I had to utilize purpose. Purpose being the unrelenting belief in the process and desire for self-actualization. Once again, purpose is the unrelenting belief in the process and desire for self-actualization. The way I see it, we must develop our passion as a motivator that will make us glad to struggle for our goals. But we must develop a strong purpose that will shoulder the burden and help us carry on toward our goals when passion falls short. Graduates, each of you may have experienced similar lessons or completely different ones. Whether they were positive or negative, whether they had a big impact or small, whether you like it or not, GCIT took you in, it gave you an experience, and it brought you out someone different. Ultimately, that's all we can really ask from a high school, for it to help us learn, experience, and change. I'm grateful to GCIT and everyone connected with it because it has forged the person I am. To my classmates, I encourage you to find at least one educator or staff and show them your gratitude today. I'd like to quickly thank a few educators and staff who impacted me. Mr. Vahey, thank you for putting up with my forgetfulness and keeping me on top of my responsibilities. Ms. Knobloch, for bringing enthusiasm and eager support into the classroom. Dr. A and Mrs. Smith, for teaching with passion and stimulating my interest in science. And Ms. Matter, for showing unparalleled kindness and understanding the depth of a student's life far beyond what goes on in the classroom. Now, after all I've spoken about hard work and passion and purpose, I'd like to close with a famous and inspiring message that drives home those ideas. I'm sure plenty of you have heard it before, but if not, I'd like to introduce it to you. By Theodore Roosevelt, this is Man in the Arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by sweat and blood and dust, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without shortcoming and error, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. GCIT class of 2023, please go out and find a worthy cause for which to spend yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Mason. I would now ask Mr. Michael Dickin,